So 2 weeks ago now, I took on Hadrians Wall, all in aid of ARC Antenatal Results and Choices charity, in memory of my friend's little boy Leo. The whole point of the event was that it was something really, really difficult that was pushing me probably beyond anything I've ever done before. Maximum mileage was 50 miles before this, so 86 approximately. Was a long old day, a long old slog, but something that I'll never ever forget, to be honest. And I just thought it might be helpful just for some people to have a bit of an interest in what the sort of event looked like, how it was done, and really if it's something that somebody else really wanted to do. The aim was 24 hours. We achieved that. We rocked through into Bowness-On-Solway at 21 hours and 47 minutes. So I started the day from Preston, getting the train up to Carlisle. Straight across from Carlisle, went straight to Newcastle. Then I stayed in Wallsend, so I got an Uber from Newcastle to Wallsend, about £6-7 to get there. Stayed in a place called Dorset Arms, and the aim was, okay, well, we'll set off in the morning at 5 a.m, and we'll hopefully come in before 5 a.m. the following day into Bowness-On-Solway. So the reason I went that way around was just because of ease, to be honest. Like, logistically, it was easier for me to get to Newcastle and to get home from Bowness-On-Solway, because obviously we're Preston based, so we had to get home a bit easier, had to make it easier for the family to get up, and also from being through the Newcastle and Wallsend part in the past, I didn't want to be there at 3 o'clock in the morning, so I wanted to do it this way around. Here she is, the Dorset Arms Hotel, as close as possible we can get to the start line of Wallsend. I think it's about 0.9 miles to start from there, but what a gaff, what a gaff. Shakeout run through Wallsend, about a mile to the start, so day before, have a look down, see what's going on. Brig Boys. Ready for it in the morning. This is the room at the Dorset Arms. Say a little prayer to this guy before we set off tomorrow morning. I probably won't sleep because of this thing at the top, but you know, it's where we are. Terrifying. So first stop, I went directly from the hotel, set off at 5 a.m, went from the Roman fort, went to Heading on the Wall was my first stop. Here it is, Roman fort. So about 5 a.m, starting here. Hopefully get to Heading on the Wall, meet Fran and that, get some much needed social interaction. But yeah, long way to go, and you can't get in the car park this way. Fantastic. Our Wallsend, head towards Newcastle. I think it's relatively flat from here. To be fair, just like the Riversway docks in Preston. Fog on the time, this old mine home. Oh. Fog on the time, mate. Fog on the time. It's like 4 miles into Newcastle. Pretty flat. Pretty ropey. But it's alright, it was nice. Nice day. Turn off about 13 miles in. Goes a bit traily. Off to Heading on the Wall. Follow that acorn.
Hello?
Hiya.
I think you might be cutting a corner, you know.
Right.
Yeah, you.
Warm, innit? Now the temperatures rose pretty quickly in that morning, so 5 a.m. was pretty nice and cool. By the time it was about 7:30, 8 o'clock when I made my first stop, it was really warm, as you can see from some of the videos where I'm kind of complaining about that. After Heading on the Wall, I headed to, again, solo, headed up to Robin Hood Inn, so I ended up getting to about 24 miles distance, which obviously just short of marathon distance. Temperatures are up,
The sky is blue and I'm getting hot. Still like only 8:30, but about 22 degrees. So just got to take it a bit easier, I think. Got to be sensible, haven't you? About 15, 17 mile in, I think. It's looking glorious. Off in it, boys. It's about 22 miles in now. Nearly enough, yeah, not too far off marathon distance, but we're cruising. It's just getting very warm. 30th of May 2026. So I think it was always going to be hot, but last week was worse, so we can stick with it, you know what I mean?
The first crew came up, so great set of lads that came up to do a part of the day with me. So big thanks to Jordan, Phil, Xander and Tom that came up to do a stint with me there. At that point, 24 miles in, I was kind of glad for the company because solo, it's quite a difficult journey on your own solo. 24 miles on your own, it's quite a long way. Nobody on the side, really. It's not a race environment, so you don't get any applause or anything like that. It's just something that you just keep plodding over. And I think at that time, mentally, I was really, really concerned, thinking it's quite a long way to do this. And you're ticking off the miles, but they're not going quick because you're sort of ticking over, continuing to fuel. Remembering to fuel is really important. And I think I worked it out. I went for about 41 gels, which is pretty insane, I thought, for me. And it's also really expensive, so I'll talk a little bit about that later. But yeah, so got joined up, a really good bunch of lads. We made our way to about 15 miles in. So they came up, they drove to Holt Whistle. Frank picked them up, took them to our starting point, and we made our way through some of the nicer parts of the wall. So the wall actually starts about 30 miles in from Wallsend. So we actually got to see some nice parts of the wall. We had really good weather. Ended up coming into a really nice stop at around Collerford. Collerford, met up with Leo's mum and dad. Leo's dad, Chris, came and did a bit of a jaunt with us as well from there. So I had some really, really good company. And those miles did fly by at that point because you're just having a bit of a laugh. You're moving at an okay pace, nice and easy, quite chilled out.
Right. How you feeling? Do you need something?
Great to share the trails with them boys and made it a lot easier for me. So obviously 15 miles later, I was heading more towards the 40 mile mark and about halfway around. Said goodbye to the boys at that point.
So the support crew doing bits. See in a bit.
Had another stop a little bit later after that, and then the expectation was that I'll have a bit of a stint now on my own. So went up along the wall, part of the path, came up a couple of climbs.
About halfway in. Oh, you are shitting me. Is that electrocuted as well? I don't even know where I am.
Also hit some of the biggest peaks that we will do on there, and that was heading into Sycamore Gap, obviously no longer there. It really annoys me, that sort of thing, like, well, I don't know why he chopped a tree down, what was the point? But anyway, Sycamore Gap, got past that, and then thankfully I was joined by another friend at this point, just after that, so that was really nice. Hit into a rolling fort car park, bit of a refuel, restock, and headed over to our next stop.
That was a good timing, lad.
Is this a 50-mile mark? Yeah.
Just done, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, mate. I'm on GoPro. Come for the graveyard shift.
Not the weather.
So we're about, what, a third to go or something?
So 50.
50 miles done. Yeah, 30-ish to go. Fuck it, let's do it, mate.
So we went for a good 28 miles. We hit mile 50 and got onto some more road focused activity, and then headed our way into Carlisle. Started to get a little bit dark at that point. Quite a long way to go still. But into Carlisle, just about head torch season at that point. So it goes dark at about, I guess actually dark at 10 p.m, but made our way into Carlisle. Said my goodbyes to Simon, who absolutely smashed out 28 miles, did his own ultra marathon just to help me along, which was, again, amazing to share the trails with him, and did a great job himself. Kept fueling, had some potatoes, quite a lot of potatoes, not very nice, just salted potatoes, and then just something else instead of gels, to be honest. But then, yeah, made my way from Carlisle out to Bowness-On-Solway, so that was another stint of about 16 miles, and at that point I think my head had gone a little bit. I was having some issues with movement. It was quite slow going, but just had to keep moving, to be honest.
It's spooky time now. It's about 10 miles to go, so just checking the scenes.
And we hit 85 miles at Port Carlisle, and then it was job done, and it was just a case of making our way down to Bowness-On-Solway. But we made it, like I said, we came in at 21 hours 47 minutes. Well under what I was aiming for. Maybe in my own mind I had a bit of a goal of between 20 and 22, so just about into that. But from where I was 2 weeks prior at UTS 50k, I think you've just got to appreciate that your body's got to recover, you've got to fuel it right, just to make it around the distance that you set for yourself. But yeah, in terms of shoes, started off with the Adi Zeros, made my way out on the road sections in that, obviously through Newcastle, really, really nice and smooth, and all tarmacked up until about 15 miles in pretty much. And then I put them back on in the last 16 miles as well to hit into Bowness-On-Solway. Had a really good day for weather, really dry, so got really lucky with that. But ultimately, yeah, we came in at about 2:30 in the morning, had been up by the time we got to the hotel for 24 hours and sort of hit the bed and went straight to sleep. But it's been an incredible experience and been so successful in the sponsorship. We raised just over £2,500, so more towards £2,700, really, just shy of that. So a massive thanks to anybody that donated, and again, a huge thanks to anyone that was part of the journey as well, whether that was supporting, obviously coming up there for the day, or just visiting, or just even a few words of wisdom that was really nice along the trails, and a couple of texts when people were watching the dot, because it was quite good. I had a tracker from Kong Running, so you provide them with GPX, some details about the run, and they will build you a site that people can track and dot watch on, and send you out a GPX tracker that you attach to your pack, and you set it off on the day, and yeah, people can dot watch. So that made the experience a lot better, because I think without that, people don't really know where you are at what point. So having people checking in and checking up on me, seeing how it was going, was really, really good, because you don't really get that if you're on your own. Obviously, a race environment's very different, but this was just a great experience. But then, yeah, I think since then, a couple of people have mentioned, well, the 100-mile distance is only 15, 20 miles more if you want to do Lakeland 100. But at this point, I'm not interested, so don't at me. don't even mention it. But yeah, so a massive thanks. Great experience. Any questions about Hadrians Wall, how I mapped it out, what I used, just give me a shout again. Hopefully you enjoyed the vid. Quite informative, hopefully. Thanks a lot. People curious about recovery. Nice. Not very nice. I have creatine, protein, and I've started putting collagen in the shakes now. Frozen fruit and some oats. Sometimes a sprinkle of honey, just to sweeten it up a little bit. But yeah, that's what it's so far.